What's up, fam? Decided that it would be fitting to film a video on surviving a turbulent job market. So if you're watching this video somewhere in the range of summer 2024, just Google what's going on. And if you're watching it at a later date, then perhaps it may still be applicable. So I'm not by any means saying like, hey, if you watch this video, these are ways to like always have job security or any of that. A lot of times just great people with great skill sets lose jobs for whatever reason or the other, right? Like no one is excluded from that. But hopefully this can bring some type of help to you. And just for context, I'm an account executive who works like in the technology sales arena. So first point is build a brand. That I wouldn't say that that's like the most important point, but I do believe that it is something that's helpful. I feel like it has helped me just kind of like in my career season of this time in terms of building some type of indirect credibility, right? Just having that visibility to potential hiring managers and companies. And yeah, just being willing to share your current knowledge on whatever outlet you may have time to do. And again, it's not a mandatory kind of thing, but like if you're able to vlog or blog, write posts on LinkedIn or film videos, whatever it is, but just being able to position yourself as some type of industry expert, so to speak. And I do feel like the more that you teach and help others, then it also helps you in return to like retain and navigate the information that you have. The next point that I want to bring up is build your skills. So, while you're working a job, like really look at it as more of a long-term investment, like whatever current space you find yourself in. For me, I look to approach me working my job that way. And so like example is, for me, I look to figure out how can I do something on purpose and repeat it, right? So being in that consultative sales space, if I get a W, if I get a win, if, I move someone along like the buying journey or that process, then I want to figure out, okay, what factors went into that? How can I isolate like these steps and these moments and then build on that, invest in that arena to become better and better and better so that it is an actual skill set that I can bring with me wherever I may go. Next point that I want to bring up is build your LinkedIn. Okay. So, very practical, but that maybe kind of goes with the whole brand thing. And that could coincide with like building your resume. And basically what I mean is like having a little bit of visibility, I believe that can help you, have like a very professional, clean headshot photo for your LinkedIn. I'll put a link somewhere. I made a video on like my LinkedIn maybe about a year ago. Have some type of capturing like header, something that is, creative, cool, describes you, but very concise, very to the point, and also describes what you bring as a professional to the marketplace. Okay, and then maybe have some type of, same type of creative, informative about section. But again, I'll post that link in somewhere on the video. And then the next point, build your network. Okay, build your network. So I give you a practical thing that I did when I was pursuing the current job that I have now. One thing that I was doing is I would apply to a job and then I would like look up anywhere from 1 to upwards of 6 to 8 people who work for the company. I would look them up on LinkedIn, just go on the job page on LinkedIn, then look up the people who work for the company. And I would look up like recruiters, hiring managers, directors, and even people who work in the position that I'm in. And my approach would be different depending on who I'm talking to, the situation. But a lot of times when it comes to a peer, I would actually reach out to someone who's in the position that I'm in and ask, like, can we have a conversation? Like, can I jump on the phone with you? Can I jump on a Zoom with you? Can I just pick your brain about the position? Hey, do you mind sharing the expertise that I see that you've clearly built from your track record, can I just be selfish for a little bit and just take 15 minutes of your time for you to just share some knowledge with me, right? And I would do that to gain insight to what the role actually is. If maybe that information can help me in terms of how I would approach the interview, or perhaps, maybe that relationship could lead to some type of referral. And going about it that way, I actually ran into someone who, mentored me in the interviewing process and really was like a dominant factor to why I was able to get hired. And it wasn't even by this company that I was going after. It was for another company that he had not worked for, but still he was able to help me in the process. So say all of that to say, just be mindful of proactively and objectively building your network. Next point is, second to last point is, build your knowledge. Okay. So, that can kind of go with the build your skill, but I believe what I'm really saying with build your knowledge is like, be willing to learn, be willing to, learn whatever skill, whatever industry knowledge specifically that you need to learn, right? So if you're going into some type of IT, going after UX, UI, whatever it is, marketing, sales, just understand like the target audience that your company is serving and that industry as a whole. Understand how to become better in the skills that you already have. Understand how to become a better learner. Like, you can actually study how to learn more effectively, but just being willing to build your knowledge, and this takes investment. And that brings me to my last point, which is build your work ethic. Okay, work ethic. Now, look, and I'm gonna be, practical with you in terms, I know I keep saying that word practical, but just to let you know, like, the amount of time that I have invested, right? So in my first role, when I went into like the technology sales arena, I would work, and this is in terms of like, what was applicable to my job, I would probably work an additional 30 minutes to 2.5 hours a day, every day, extra. Right? Somewhere in that arena, right? I worked a lot. I still do. I'm more big on sleep now, but just to like let you peer into my schedule a little bit, I'll show up to work somewhere in the ranks of like 8:30 to 9 a.m. I will work until the ranks of about 5:15, 5:30. Then I would go be with the family, do dinner, help bathe the kids and all of that good stuff. And then I'll typically go back to some form of working at around between 7:15 and 8 o'clock, right? So whether that is reading a book, like actually going back to work on moving the needle forward to something like within my role with the company. And I'll work typically for another 45 minutes to potentially 2 hours, depending on the evening. And then I'll look to really shut it down and wrap it up somewhere along the ranks of 9 p.m. to 10 p.m. So, and I work on Saturdays too, like not the whole Saturday, but just kind of like, again, just being transparent, letting you know, like I don't view Saturday as like a day off, so to speak, even though I'm off work. I look to invest something into moving the needle forward. So with these things in mind, again, this is not no, foolproof way of, hey, you're going to always have a job kind of thing, but just hopefully it helps. I just wanted to let you peer in to my situation. If you have any questions, drop a comment, reach out. It also may be a link in the description somewhere where you can actually book a meeting and we can just have some conversation and some dialogue, and hope you enjoyed. See you in the next video.